as the 2023 polls get closer. Aspirants are emerging now who will end up as the president of Nigeria in 2023. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and presidential aspirant on the platform of the All Progressives Congress and former governor of Anambra State and several others, Peter Obi, have all come out in different political parties. We have Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also an APC chieftain, and a lot of other top politicians, including Governor Yahaya Bello, David Umahi, Governor of Ebonyi State, and the declarations are ongoing. Some are just waiting for this last week before they declare and all of that. Now, this result, which is coming from a survey conducted by Next Year, a consultancy and data firm, says that just 2 aspirants are the ones that Nigerians are counting on for the top job of the country. They've gone on to list a lot of factors that may be responsible for those Nigerians that will be presenting themselves. But we just want to still open up the space and ask that apart from some of the organizations that are already projecting certain aspirants to emerge as candidates of the bigger parties, how about other political parties? Well, we'll be taking a look at all of this with a journalist and social commentator, Mayor Akinpelu, who is joining us from our Lagos studio, and will be sharing ideas on the sort of next president that Nigerians should be voting for. Thank you, Mayor, for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the persons that have come out, and we've seen some social pundits, analytics firms here and there projecting certain candidates as the ones that will emerge from the bigger parties. But what's been your view so far?
We seem to have a lot of people that wants to be president of Nigeria. We've never had it a lot, especially there are front runners in both parties. When you look at PDP, perennial runner like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is there. Wike, who is a big force in PDP, is also running. And my friend and brother is the new face in PDP. Bashorundele Mamadou. We also have Bukola Saraki, Bala Mohammed, and all that. In APC, we have Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Vice President, Osinbajo, Yemi Osinbajo. We have Governor Yahaya Bello and Rotimi Amechi. I think those are the front runners in APC. This campaign is going to be very interesting because there are people who want to be president on their own steam. There are others who I think are hoping that they will be endorsed by the president. Because when you look at them and the way they are going about it, they've not shown enough, they've not proven enough to show that they are really serious. The rumor mill have it that there are a lot of people that are running that seems to say, okay, they are waiting for the endorsement of the president. But I think if you look at those who are in APC, for example, I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu started early, so you have this head start. Another person that have done well in APC is Governor Yahaya Bello. And people may not take him seriously, but I think he's the dark horse in APC for so many reasons. One, he has youth on his side. Part of the problems that we have in the polity is that a lot of our leaders are old and cannot connect with the people, especially the younger people. And he has youth on his side. Apart from that, he seems to have connected well with the women folk, and women form a larger part of those who vote in election in Nigeria. And because, you know, when you look at him, he's women friendly. And one of the things that he does that I like is a lot of people want women to be given preferential treatment. I don't subscribe to that. The women folk try to picket the National Assembly asking for our lawmakers to make laws to give women, the women folk, some preferential treatment, which I think is not good for democracy. If we want gender equality, then it should be across the board. What we should desire, instead of reserving spaces women folk. The First Lady met these aspirants recently and tried to appeal to them to pick women as their running mates. I think what we should look at is a leader who is gender-friendly, who believes with the women folk, who believes that they will be able to deliver, and then pick women on their merit, which one of the things that Yaya Bello has done, because in Kogi, the ADC, the head of service, the secretary to state government, most of the vice chairmen of local governments are women. You remember recently some women organizations met and tried to commend him for.
If I may just cut in here,
that's the way we should go. We should look.
If I may just cut in here, I mean, every time we hear some persons actually saying that Yaya Bello is the dark horse here, or he has the anointing oil of the president on his forehead already, a lot of persons also question his achievements in Kogi State. It's not just good enough to be young and ask Nigerians to vote for you. What are the antecedents of such a person who is asking Nigerians to vote for him to be president, to be the person who is doing the top job of the country?
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you that being president of Nigeria should not be a matter of age alone. I agree, though it should be another advantage. But when you look at him in what he has done in Kogi, he has done relatively well, because let's start with the issue of security. Before, Kogi was a bad case when it comes to security, especially kidnapping. He has been able to put that together. I remember vividly there was a time that I traveled to Kogi for a burial ceremony, and I had to go with a lot of policemen, you know, because you cannot move in Kogi without being kidnapped, and it was really bad. But now, I went to Kogi recently. He has been able to, he seems to understand the security architecture. He has been able to jig it in a way that it helps the state. And that's the kind of thing that we need, because one of the major problems of this government is that we have a general as the president, but the security situation in Nigeria is pathetic. It has never been this bad in this country. And all of us are surprised, because we thought that a general who quite experienced, fought in a war and all that, will be able to understand how to take care of the terrorists and these bandits better. But the result is the case. I think that in Nigeria, we need a president that has a little bit of madness in court, who understands the language of these bad boys, who will be able to tell them that, look, a new sheriff is in town and is not going to take that. Because when people know that they can get away with crime, they will do it. And the problem is that if there are no consequences, they will do it all over again. If you remember that there was a time in Lagos that armed robbery was very rampant in Lagos. Armed robbers used to attack banks in Lagos every time. But if you remember that when Marwa came and introduced Operation Sweep, and then later on Abakari was charge of SARS in Lagos State, they were able to put good security architecture in place, and armed robbers left Lagos for Ogun and other places. That's what you need.
We do not have enough time left, but let's talk about how the aspirants are already going around the country, meeting with delegates here and there. What is your assessment? And considering that we have almost close to 8,000 delegates, do you think, I mean, the person who you prefer, I mean, you said that Yaya Bello is your own preference. Do you think he's doing enough to meet with these delegates? And do you think that the North Central will play a key role in delivering the right number of delegates to make him a potential candidate of the APC?
Democracy is about numbers, and it's obvious that whoever wants to be president of Nigeria must be able to convince people in other geopolitical zones to be able to vote for him. I think that relatively, yes, Yabebo has done well in moving around, and I think Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu also have done quite well. Others that have joined in APC, for example, they made declaration, they moved around, but I've not seen, they visited one or two people, but maybe because they joined quite late, they've not really done that. So I don't see how, but there's still time to be able to convince people. But the problem we have in the Nigerian polity is that the governors in Nigeria are very powerful. They control most of the delegates in their states. So whoever is going to win will be the person that have the support of the governors.
And you think that person is Yaya Bello?
That will influence.
I said, and you think that person is Yahya Bello? He has a lot of influence.
No, we're not sure yet. Because nobody's sure of that yet. Nobody's sure of that yet. Because, like I said, you need to move around. Nobody's sure of that yet. I cannot say that. But what I'm saying is that when you want to be president, because now that we're going to have a primary, is for you to be able to move around and get as many delegates as possible. But it is important for you to convince fellow governors, because a lot of the governors control most of the delegates in their state. Okay. Because the governor is the leader of the party in the state, so they have a lot of influence to be able to tilt the delegates to a particular candidate. So right now, nobody is sure of anything, because don't forget that the president has not even tell us his own preference, which is going to be a major thing, because
it's going to actually be a major factor as we head towards that.
Yeah, it's going to be a major factor.
National convention next month.
It's going to be a major factor.
Okay, Mayor Akinpelu, we must thank you so much for joining us from our Lagos studio to take a look at all of these issues surrounding the quest for the next president of Nigeria, from both the APC and the PDP, and he has already said his own preference. Well, we must thank you for joining us on the show. That's how it's been for this edition of the Arise interview. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye and thank you for watching. I'm Sonny Sambo.